It's my pleasure to introduce the new president of the Wilderness Society, Jamie Williams.
Like many of you, I came to conservation through my early experiences in wilderness. I grew up in Oklahoma. I kind of wanted to get out of there about as fast as I could. As great as a place as it was to grow up, but I really wanted to head for the mountains. So in 8th grade, a friend and I jumped on our bikes and spent the summer biking out west. And we went to New Mexico, to Colorado. We strapped our backpack, or our panniers, on our backs and went backpacking into the Pecos Wilderness and then into the San Juans. And it was an incredible trip that really changed my life. But what was really transformative was the outward-bound course that I took the next summer in the San Juans. And to sort of understand the impact that it had on me, I was diagnosed with dyslexia pretty early in life. Never did very well in school, never had much interest in it or the broader world. But when I took that outward-bound course and had that experience in the San Juans, it really ignited my curiosity. It really showed me what I could accomplish if I really worked at it, and it really showed me the power of working with others to get somewhere as a tight-knit group. It was an amazing experience, and those were life skills that I've really taken with me ever since. So as I think about how fortunate I was to have that experience early in life, I think about the next generation and how we're going to get them to unplug, to have these same kinds of experiences. That's a challenge that I think we really face as we approach the 50th anniversary of the Wilderness Act, and really the challenge that we face for the conservation movement as a whole. The truth of the matter is that backcountry use is declining. There's a lot of different statistics out there, I'm sure you all know, but 30% declining use of backcountry usage anyway in national parks. The National Academy of Sciences came out with a finding that nature-based recreation had declined since the 80s by 18 to 25%. And we know that when people don't use public lands, they become less relevant. And yet all of us know that the great benefits that these areas provide, the ecological benefits, the economic benefits, the spiritual and health benefits that these areas provide. And we know that a child that spends time in the outdoors is more fit, gets better grades, is free of emotional problems, and yet young people are disconnecting from nature at alarming rates. A problem that was probably best described by Richard Louv in his book, Last Child in the Woods, as nature deficit disorder. And that book, I think, came out in 2005, and really the problem's gotten worse since then. I'm sure you all are aware of the recent studies that have been done that show that kids spend 7 hours a day in front of their screens. That's 35 hours a week, which is really staggering to me. And clearly what's needed here is a good old-fashioned dose of vitamin N, vitamin nature. There's a big movement around that now. It's interesting, for all the Facebook posts that the Wilderness Society has done, we did a post about 2 months ago on nature deficit disorder, and it went viral more than any other post we've ever done. 70,000 shares in 2 days. We normally have about 400 shares over that same time period. So this is an issue that is deeply felt by parents all over this country, and something that I think we can really answer and address with the kind of work that we're doing. We know that people really care, and we have champions in Congress. That's why we have 27 wilderness bills and moving through some stage in Congress right now. And if you look at polling all across the country, and of course you work with local communities as we all do, we know people deeply care about these wild places. Just one of the most recent polls that was done in the Rocky Mountain West that Colorado College did shows that 78% of people believe that we can protect wild places and have a strong economy at the same time, that the two don't have to be in conflict with each other. And these are in the very states where the politicians are posturing about selling off public land, so that we know that if we dig a little deeper, people really do care. So the question for us is, how do we reach those people, activate them, translate that passion for wild places into political success? How do we bring along the next generation? How do we not just defend against the attack on wild places and on our public lands, but really build a movement, a proactive movement to really protect the places that we really care about? Those are the questions that we've been asking of the Wilderness Society, and I think the answer really lies in the people that are in this room and the work that you do, and in a new way of looking at land protection for the next generation as we go forward. Now, if we look at the limited window that we've got for protecting wild places, I mean, who knows what it really is, but given the rapidly expanding footprint of society, it could be maybe 20 or 30 years that we've got left to really protect the wild places that really matter. And we have been thinking we've got to think bigger about our work, but we also have to build constituency in everything that we do. 110 million acres has been protected, 757 areas. We've had incredible success, and yet we know that there's so much more to do. But we need to build on that legacy to really protect the large theaters of nature that can be sustainable within a rapidly changing climate. We've got to think about how we expand existing areas and how we connect them to each other. I was out with Brent Martin and our team hiking yesterday, and we rolled out the maps, and they showed me all the existing protected areas, but what was cool is they started to show me not just the new places they wanted to protect, but the important linkages that had to occur if we're going to have resilient landscapes that are going to endure in the rapidly changing world that we've got now. So it's not just about more land, but it's the quality of that land and where it is that we really need to protect for enduring wilderness for the future. It means not just embracing wilderness, but embracing the full range of tools that are necessary to protect a large landscape, national recreation areas, national conservation areas. Yes, more wilderness, but also private land protection. We need all of these tools in place if we're going to protect large landscapes, and we need stewardship that can restore the land and create jobs that are so important to local communities. So increasingly, we're starting to go deep into large landscapes all across this country where we think we can really make a difference at scale. Southern Appalachians, the North Woods, the Colorado Plateau, the Northern Rockies, the Sierra Nevada, the Cascades, the Arctic, and many other important places to us all. You all are creating the access to our wild places that we need to rebuild Americans' connection to our public land. And in the process, you're bringing along a whole new generation for stewarding our lands. It's up to us to build the next generation of conservationists.